Hello everyone, Kate here from Keight Krafts, sharing with you another project for Hollow Tree Hobbies. Let's get started. So to kick things off, we have got a panel that we have cut down to 4.5 by 5 3/4 out of some Neenah Solar White cardstock in 80 pound. And we are going to go in with a 2 gradient blend. And here I have some scattered straw distress oxide. And then next we are going to go in with some fun and cheery mustard seed. Now I've got this sped up so quickly because this took a minute to blend because I like to have a really even blend between the two colors. And even though some might not see it, I see it. So I tend to go a little bit overboard with how I'm blending. So next we have done the same with this panel, same size, 4.5 by 5 3/4. And we are going to go in with some spiced marmalade. Now, I really love this orangey spiced marmalade. I think it's a fun color. It's not overly orange because it draws in a bit of that yellow. And I think it's a really nice honey color. Not necessarily like that ambery golden color, but I don't know, I kind of like the spiced marmalade. And to kind of give it a little bit more depth, I was going to go in with some pumpkin, but I thought the ripe persimmon would look much nicer because it is that bold yellowy, darker orange. And I think these two go really, really lovely together. And again, I'm just creating that gradient between the two colors so we get a bit of that fade for when we do the next step, which is going to be a lot of fun. So, well, I found it a lot of fun anyway. So once we've got that gradient, how we want it, we're going to bring it down just a smidge, just to even out that lighter color. And once I'm happy with that, we are going to go ahead and we are going to go do a little bit of stamp masking. So we have got the stamp set You're a Keeper, and I had this idea in my head that I was going to use the You're the Keeper with the honeycomb and just have them hanging out there. And then when I went to go do everything, I got all my supplies out and I started to ink blend, and I thought, I'll grab that stamp set last. And when I went to go grab it, I realized I didn't have the dies for the stamp set, which I thought I got, but I guess I didn't because I couldn't find them anywhere. And when I looked at my chart, it said I didn't. So if you do have this stamp set, but you don't have the dies, I would recommend going over to Hollow Tree Hobbies website and getting them. I know my next order with them, I will be sure to include the dies to this set because it is such a cute set. And the little beehive is so versatile. I've used it in another stamp masking project where I used it as a end table next to a couch. And yeah, ironically, that same one I had stamp masked bears. So here we've taken the leftovers of the honey mustard on our yellow brush and the ripe persimmon on our orange brush. And now we are just going to take our guillotine trimmer. I really, really love this trimmer. I find that it is my go-to for every little trimming I need, except for like the bigger ones. Eventually I would like to get the 12 by 12 one, but I find that this one works just fine for what I need. And all we're doing is we're just taking this down just a smidge so we've got that shape of the honeycomb. The hexagon, I believe it is? Yeah, hexagon is 6, octagon is 8. I always get those two confused for some reason. So once we are happy with the 6th side, or the few sides here, it's just a matter of lining everybody up with the 3 sides that we've already cut, and we got a pretty even cut here. So here you can see the 2 gradients that we've ink blended, and now we are going to take the Honeycomb Backdrop die. Now I found that I needed a shim with this because this is one of those extra cutting dies with all these little intricate pieces that needed a little bit of help. And if you're not sure what a shim is, basically I just use extra scrap cardstock for what I need to do. So I've got a big enough piece of scrap cardstock that I could shim in there, put underneath, and then that way it cuts out all the middle bits. And I just find poking all those guys out so satisfying. So next we are going to take our base card panel and we are going to cut this down just a smidge under 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so that way it'll fit under the panel or the backdrop die that we've got cut here, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm just going to add a bunch of dots to all of the backside here and spare you the trauma of having to watch all that. And then we are just going to flip that over, line that up as best we can, and then we are going to give that a good mash down. Next, I decided I was going to go with Honey, You're a Keeper, and I thought it was a little too plain, so I think I would like to add these little bees here, which makes it cute and cheery, and it turns out to be just long enough to put on the bottom there. So off camera, I've gone ahead and add my foam squares with some glue, and we are going to mash that one down, and then we'll take the release tape off of this guy with our foam tape, add a little bit of glue because I like to double stick, just in case I need to peel up or because it sits in a pile for too long. So once we've got that all down, we are going to add some Sakura Stardust pen, and we added a little bit of yellow there for the bees. And now we are going to take all the masking off, and then we are going to add some white gel pen lines in a medium white Sakura Jelly Roll pen, and just a little bit lines and dashes, and just to make this a little more cuter. Got the ears here. We're going to add a little bit to the drawer here. And then because I didn't think that was enough, I'm going to go back in with that Stardust pen and just add a little bit of twinkle to everything. So I thought it'd be fun to add it to the honeycomb just to give it a little sparkle, like it's catching the light in the sun. And then I thought, you know what, why not go big and go a little bit more, like the bear's got a little bit of honey on him. So we're adding some lines and dashes to our little bear with the Stardust pen to give him a little twinkle as well. And once we have that done and the pen is dried, we are going to add our card base to our card panel to our card base, and we'll add a little bit of double stick to the panel, and then we are going to go around the edges so I have a nice adhesion and nothing lips up. And then we'll write our Hollow Tree Hobbies in glue, which this is optional. You don't have to do this, but I like to. And then once we've got enough of our glue down, which is the Barely Arts glue, which I absolutely love, we're going to line everybody up, give that a good mash down, and then we're going to add a few of those little honeycomb just in the inside as a little surprise. And I thought this was kind of cute. I mean, you could use an extra cutout of the backdrop die to line everybody up, but I didn't feel like going that route. I thought I would just go this way, and because I was adding some in, I thought it'd be fun to add just a couple of them inside the backdrop die here, just to add a little bit of interest, because I didn't go in with any half-back pearls or rhinestones or sequins or anything like that. I wanted to keep this as simple as possible, and I thought these would be a nice added touch. So I'm just sifting through the little triangle pile that I have here of all the different colors. Now these are the gradient colors that I have, and I want all the yellow ones because I found that the yellow ones really stood out against the orange backdrop. Now you could use the scattered straw ones, but I really do like that mustard seed color on this card. I think it's really fun and cheery, and I really do like it. So my fat fingers are trying to find some good ones, and then I remembered there were some on my cutting plate still because they stuck to the cutting plate, and I do need a new cutting plate, which I do believe Hollow Tree Hobbies carries for the big shot. I'm not sure if they carry for spellbinders, but hey, it would be a worth a look to go over to the Hollow Tree Hobbies website and just have a looky-loo. You never know, you might find something that you want or something that you must have or that you need. And don't forget to head over to their social media as well. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook, and of course here on YouTube. So here you have my finished card. I really hope that you enjoyed today's project. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me today. Take care.